we have glimpse and we remember and we forget, and we remember and we forget. And it's why awareness, and it's why it is 21 days journey home, and that inner security with yourself, that safe space you can come back to, that really that intimacy that you are having with yourself. And if you have it with yourself, you will gain such an awareness that you will be able to spot quicker things and to turn them around and or to navigate them, because we don't always need to change, turn around. No, sometimes it is what it is, and it's about navigating and surfing the wave. And it's knowing that you have that relationship with yourself. You are your best friend, that you understand more and more your power. You understand more and more how you can connect to it, tap to it. Hi. Hello, my friend. Welcome with me, Jenn, from letithappencoaching.com for video 3 of Journey Home Introduction Series to my new offering, 21 Days Journey Home. This is to give you an overview of the main stages of my journey home, that you can get a taste of who I am, my vibe. Obviously, it's non-exhaustive. It's not like I cannot in 5 videos like tell you my life, but the intention is really that you get a taste, an overview, and that I have the opportunity as well, like to where I'm coming from and why it is offering, because now I am in Barcelona, and you will understand why it's such a big deal in video 5. And yeah, it's important for me to be much more out there sharing, which is not something I have done very much, about my own journey. So that's the opportunity, and I hope you like it. Let's start. So video 3. So we saw like the first video where I was a little bit at when I starting the journey home, which was like basically very unaware, scared of life, very much in my head, beating myself up, very passive, waiting for a miracle, waiting for actually life to save me, or someone to save me, someone to give me the answers, the way, like, oh my God, I have been craving, like, and even more when I started, like when I was like looking for what could be my purpose, and before starting my business, which I always knew I wanted to have a business. I have always been an entrepreneur. That's for another, it's a completely different topic. But for me, being an entrepreneur is not necessarily having a business, but definitely I am an entrepreneur, and I knew I wanted to have my business. I just didn't know how, what, when. And it has been like a quest of like how to find my happiness in the workspace. A quest of meaning, a quest of like, which is still going on, guys. Not the purpose one, but definitely like knowing myself. This is not something like suddenly you check and I know who I am. No, you get insights, and it's navigating, as I said already in a video, like life mysteries and peeling off that onion of really getting to your true self, like who I am question. It's a huge one, and it takes lifetimes to really deeply know, because we are so multidimensional in a way. Like, no, maybe I don't know if I can say that, but it's, I mean, we have glimpse and we remember and we forget, and we remember and we forget. And it's why awareness, and it's why it is 21 days journey home, and that inner security with yourself, that safe space you can come back to, that really that intimacy that you are having with yourself. And if you have it with yourself, you can have it with everybody else that is able to have a certain depth of relationship. Depth I don't want to, because like depth, I want my pronunciation to be right and not to be misled to another term. And so it's, but that could be also, anyway, I'm not gonna, you know, in French we have something, and I don't know if you say it like this in English, is revelation lapsus. Anyway, so maybe some will understand where I'm going from and what I had in mind. Yeah, so that intimacy with yourself, that depth that you can have with yourself, with your relationship, because again, it's an inside out game. All that is within is reflecting without, and it really starts within. It's not when you get that, I'm feeling that way. No. It's I'm feeling that way and I get that. Okay, and it's knowing that you have that relationship with yourself. You are your best friend, that you understand more and more your power, you understand more and more how you can connect to it, tap to it, and that means that you will be much more able and willing and comfortable, and that doesn't mean that you won't be scared and you will not be stretched. No, it doesn't mean you won't have up and downs, etc., doubt, but you will understand, you will gain such an awareness that you will be able to spot quicker things and to turn them around and or to navigate them, because we don't always need to change, turn around. No, sometimes it is what it is, and it's about navigating and surfing the wave. Okay, so this video, 6 minute introduction, my goodness, and 6 minute introduction. I said it's a challenge for me to make them quick, not quick because, but I want them to be sweet and kind of like short. So video 3 is really, you remember when I was in Australia, I had a boyfriend and he was supposed to, we had a plan to go to Spain. And Spain has always been like very much, you know, I'm Spanish, I grew up in Switzerland. My dad is half French, half Swiss, and my mom is Spanish from Barcelona. And she grew up in Switzerland, but she was born in Barcelona. And we spent every holidays, apart from the winter ones, in Spain with my grandparents. So I do remember that, and for some of you who are also international in like different like cultures, grew up in different cultures, like in my home, for example, we spoke like 3 languages, like Spanish, Catalan, and French. And so, you know, you grew up in a country, you can feel a bit of another one, then you have some culture, but you are never really home in any country, because in some country they say that you are from the other one they say that you are from the other one. You know, it's but what so Spain has always been there. I always felt very connected, and also because I never really lived there, you know, that was that part of me that had a dream to really live one day in Spain, and another one was to live by the sea, which I made that dream come true when I was in Australia. And so basically I went back and we had that plan, and I was very much waiting for him. And because I was still in a very passive mode, I was very much in love. At that time I put all my eggs in the same basket, knowing that he was my best friend, my love, my hopes, my dreams, like. And obviously when things collapse, where it's like all is crashing, because I put all my eggs in the same basket. And it's why, like, one of the lessons as well is, you know, in coaching, for example, we have the wheel of life, which is basically like the main areas of your life, and it's putting a little bit in everything, so that when something is not working as good, you still have other things to make the ride smoother. And in that case, it was so I was waiting on him. I put my career in parentheses, knowing that I took a shitty job to wait for him because we were supposed to go to Barcelona, and I put in parentheses really myself, and I was waiting, and that waiting, because he needed a visa, whatever, but so that waiting really killed me and really exhausted me, and mentally, physically, like it was horrible. The relationship was also like, you know, like Australia, it's a different like time zone, so obviously it was morning, I was night. We weren't understanding each other anymore, and I put so much hope, so much energy in the waiting already. So it was like, then it was horrible. And basically I'm saying that because that's another lesson, is that never wait for something to condition your life in a way. Like this is a big like example of me waiting on someone, taking a shitty job, but really I could have like applied for a good job, get the good job, and eventually when the person arrives, I can find an agreement with the company, you know, because you never know how long it's gonna take. That's my point. And I'm far from being the person of like, oh, just take a job and then like hire them, like just leave them high and dry. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in general, we put in waiting like something, and then it can take months, years, when actually what we want to happen is happening. So I would, and this is a very big lesson I also had this year with the flat, when, you know, it's not a major example, but it will give you, I think, the image. It's like someone gave me tea, okay, offered me tea, and me in my head, I directly like had the story that I would have that tea in my new flat in Barcelona. So I wasn't drinking that tea until like it took way more time to get that flat in Barcelona, and I understood that actually I need to give myself in what I want and what I need in the moment. Because I don't even, because, you know, like that tea in my flat in Barcelona, that was a bit of a, you know, of a story I was like bringing myself, but I don't know if I would have had the feelings I think I would have had, because all of that is always to feel a certain way. So it's about bringing that back to the present, and basically drinking that tea now if that makes me happy, and I will have like another experience in my new flat in Barcelona. You understand? And it's very important to, as much as possible, giving ourselves what we need in the moment and not waiting for something else to be as in our mind we would like to, and even less when we don't have any control whatsoever on of what we want to happen, because it depends on like a certain set of circumstances. Okay, in my case, with that boyfriend, was him waiting for a visa, and then him having the courage to come overseas. Too many introduction points, and well, anyway, so it never came. It was a horrible heartbreak. I'm not gonna go into details in that, but basically it was very painful, very horrible, and you know, we say that it's when we rock bottom, or I think we say we rock bottom, that we have like, suddenly we make a change, because it's so painful that we make a change. And for me, it's when, and this is the catalyst, this is the turning point number 2, is actually that I started personal development. So funny story, which is not funny, is just perfect in his life, synchronicities and beauty, because, And this is what I want to say in this video, is that if you start looking at your life, you will understand that life is always giving you signals, indications, and then there is a thread, okay, that you can link things, and if you look back even, you can say, well, actually life was always here supporting me. It was always for me. It just didn't know. And I'm always saying that it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and it can be in many different forms, not just a person. It is teacher. The teaching and lessons are every day and everything. And basically, so there was a book. So also, I just want to say that as much as I was saying I was an automatic pilot, I think we all have those deep senses, but sometimes because we are so not in intimacy with ourselves, we just don't know what to do with them, or we don't acknowledge them, or we don't know what they mean. And I think I have always been, intuitive, knowing that there was something more for me, that very instinctive. And you will also understand, the way I have the first period of my life, I was very, in a very instinctive strategy, saying like I follow the feeling, but I didn't. It wasn't based on really much, It was just like a feeling like, oh, now I want to work in real estate. Now I want to work in an international company in import export. Now I want to, I was a bit like saying things, and then it happened, but not that easy. It's not like no, not that easy, but. What I want to say here is that, yes, I got those kind of like that vision of feeling broadly, and then, well, in that broad scope, sometimes because it's not clear enough and precise enough, you might not be in the really perfect, ideal environment for flourishing. But that's also something we learn, and that I have learned. So basically, just to come back to that life perfection, and also to connect to what I have just said, that I think I was, because, I saw a numerologist, I was already attracted by, like more these like alternative, like ways to find answers. And it was just not that conscious, and it became more and more conscious. But all of that to say that one numerologist gave me a personal development book. Now I don't remember. Maybe it was The Secret. I don't remember. Maybe it was the book The Secret. And it's funny because I took this book to Australia, and I perfectly remember that I put it in a drawer. And the moment maybe not the day, but like very much, we broke up, and then I took that book. So I kind of remember, and I opened that book, and I started to, and then it's like, one thing to lead to the other. And then I do remember I read also a book of Miranda Kerr that actually really reminded me of, and now that I'm doing that video, I'm just wondering if the book from Miranda Kerr that I really deeply loved was not also something about coming home, which would be very, very interesting. And then this led me to Louise L.A. that is all about self-love, positive affirmation. One thing led to the other. And so it's where personal development for me started. Then I went back to my parents because I needed the nurturing. But I was also led to do kinesiology. And from that experience, which was another alternative therapy, I took my first flat because I wanted to go to Spain. I wasn't taking a decision, so I was a bit in that limbo, but really it was fear. And I took my first flat in Lausanne. At that time I was 25, and it was a beautiful experience to be in Lausanne. I had like a very tough situation there when I was like bullied by one of my friends, but I'm not gonna go into that story now. But I mean, it was a good experience to have my flat. It was a beautiful flat, to get my independence. And also I do remember that at that time I was receiving, like newsletter from Brandon Burchard and for Burchard, and for some that don't know him, is quite well known in the personal development space, like mostly for productivity. But what's funny is that I was receiving his newsletter, so I was already kind of, like very much in the space of like coaching. But for me, it wasn't a possible job I could do. And I'm saying that because, again, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And what does that mean? Is that when you are not ready, you don't see. And the moment you click, for example, with my offering, I'm going to raise awareness of different things which will enable you to see more, to have another perception, will change your experience. You understand? And this is very important. And and I was very much, like seeking, like for example, like with my job, I went traveling, backpacking to Hong Kong, like Asia, and then Canada. And while I came back home, I still didn't know what was my purpose, because I just thought that doing that would give me the answers, but actually all the answers are within. Yes, exploring the world, chatting with people, all of that helps, but it's asking, inquiring yourself, and it's very, and having that connection with yourself is not just waiting that you will get the perfect blueprint answer. It doesn't work that way. And the same, I thought that having a boyfriend will make me more confident. For what? No, it doesn't work that way either. So that was for this video. It's really that what I wanted to share is really the beginning of personal development, the fact that sometimes when you are not ready, you don't see, but that if you really try to look at your life, you have some connection that you can do, insights that you can get. Life is always giving you answers, signals, if you are willing to be open to them, to see them. There are synchronicities. And it's like, like I was still in a stage that I was seeking in the external to have an experience, an answer, which is not the case. So it's not the way it works. So this is all for this video. If you have any question, I repeat, this for my 21 days new offering journey home. And if you have any question, Jennifer@letithappencoaching.com. You can connect with me on Instagram, which is Let It Happen Coaching. You can write me here if you have any question. The course is gonna start in September, normally date to be confirmed. Yes, so connect with me. I would love to also know if me sharing my journey, how does that resonate for you? And in the meantime of the video 4, believe in yourself to your success. Let it happen.